Hi friends, it's that time of year and I'm so excited to decorate for Christmas. I am currently putting a bunch of junk towels on these cabinets, and if you're wondering, I'm using it to help prop these garlands up so that they don't keep falling backwards or forwards. Last year I decorated with garlands above my kitchen cabinets and it took me absolutely forever to get them to stay on this crown molding. The crown molding is a very small edge to kind of decorate on. It always just falls backwards and there's not really a good way to have garlands on crown molding. And so this year, one day I was just thinking about how I was going to decorate this year and what could make it easier. And I was trying to come up with a solution. And at first I thought maybe putting some 2x4s or some wood behind the crown molding to help kind of prop the garlands upright. But then I was thinking, instead of buying wood and using it throughout my cabinets, I have some junk towels and I can always throw them in the wash when the Christmas season is over. And it ended up working really well. My garlands have stayed and I've opened and shut the cabinet doors multiple times and they are no longer falling on my head like last year. So here we're going to put all of our Christmas garlands up in the kitchen above the cabinets. I like to start with this because it's a little on the time-consuming side and it adds the largest impact in my opinion. Since you can see them from pretty much all areas of my lower floor, our lower floor is kind of open concept, so everything is kind of visible from the same area. Now that we added all of the garlands to the upper cabinets, we're just going to go in and add all of the twinkling lights. I had a 6-pack off of Amazon and these ones came with a remote. So the remote is a game changer because I didn't have a remote and last year I had to stand on cabinets to turn the lights on. So I am very excited that this set of twinkling lights comes with a remote this year. So it was a 6-pack on Amazon and I'm actually using 2 for each set of garlands. So on this cabinet, I'm using 2 and then the next set of cabinets, I'll use 2 and just kind of do that throughout. There's 3 different sections of garlands in my kitchen, so it ended up working out perfectly. For anyone new, my name is Alyssa and I have a cleaning, organizing, decluttering channel. We also kind of talk about mom life. I've got 2 young boys, ages 5 and 6, and this is my first year with both of them in school, so it's been a bit of a transition. My husband, Mac, is a firefighter and we live in the Pacific Northwest, and we're just really enjoying a lot of family walks and a lot of time indoors with the fireplace on, and now we get to kind of add that Christmas spirit in there too. We also have a 8-month-old puppy named Yoshi, and he's pretty dang cute, so once in a while he'll pop in and out of our videos. I do kind of have a hard time cleaning when he's around though, so sometimes I make sure that my husband's like working with him or taking him on a walk when I'm cleaning the lower floor, just because he likes to kind of not attack the vacuum, but he likes to kind of sprint after it and it can make cleaning take twice as long. Alright, here we're almost done adding the twinkling lights above the cabinets, and then we're just going to add a wreath to this hood vent here. I was kind of like twisting it around because certain parts are a little bit more cheap, and this wreath I got for super cheap from Target a couple years ago, and the red pieces keep breaking off and I can kind of see some white parts on them. I don't know, maybe I can take like a red permanent marker and cover up some of the white plastic pieces where the red popped off. But it is a bit of a cheap wreath and I was just kind of spinning it back and forth trying to find the best angle so that it looked a little bit more expensive. I still think it's really pretty and I love the bright pop of red in my kitchen. Now we're in my mudroom and we're actually just kind of seeing what'll work. So last year I did this wreath in the corner and I really liked it. This is a magnetic chalkboard and I use it to put all of our Christmas cards people give us and Christmas pictures that my nieces or nephews color me or my kids, and I use those little magnets to put them up on that magnet board. So I was just kind of seeing what looked best in the mudroom, and now we're going to move on to the living room. I am kind of speeding up the video a little bit just because last year when I posted my Christmas clean and decorate with me, most people kind of skipped over me decorating with garlands because it really does take a very long time. So I thought I'd just kind of speed it up for you guys, so hopefully that helps a little bit. In the living room, I'm using a different set of garlands than the ones that are in my kitchen cabinets, and you'll see later I also put the ones that are above my kitchen cabinets on my stairs as well. But the ones over here are a little bit more kind of like pine. They match my Christmas tree a little bit better, and so we're just going to kind of there's I think 3 of them, and we're going to put them and kind of try to double them up so that it looks a little bit thicker. When I was decorating, this was right before my kids came home from school, and so I was just trying to finish it up so I could surprise them a little bit. I wanted them to come home and kind of get their reaction. It took a lot longer than expected though, it always does, and so I did not finish decorating on this day. Also, if you're decorating a fireplace with command hooks, just know that you should probably turn your fireplace off because if it is warm, the adhesive won't stick. And I figured that out as I was decorating this mantle. They kept popping off, and then when I turned off the fireplace and tried again, it worked perfectly. So if you have a fireplace, don't turn it on until you're done putting your garland up. What are your guys' plans for Christmas? What traditions do you guys do as a family? I'm always so curious to hear because there are actually quite a few places that don't even celebrate Thanksgiving, and it's always so interesting to hear what everybody does. Here it's a new day, and I had just finished running errands for my family. We were out of a lot of groceries, and so I stopped at Costco. We needed dog food and a lot of dairy products, and so I had just gotten back, and my kids were actually hanging out with my husband. It was the weekend, and I ended up picking up this beautiful nativity set from Costco, and I really love it. They said that it was like a hand-painted version, and it's just so pretty. There were a couple pieces that the eyes kind of looked a little bit funny in my opinion, but for the most part you can't tell, and it is just an amazing piece for the price. You can't find nativity sets for less than $100, and it is just crazy how much everything is these days. So when I found this one at Costco, I was really impressed and I really wanted it. I have another nativity set, but it's really small, and I put it on this cabinet last year, but it looked way too small for the space, and I'd love to have 2 nativity sets, one for kind of our upstairs like bookshelf area, and then one for our main living room. Now that I got my nativity set put in place, I actually swapped it to the cabinet on the right of the mantle just because I thought it looked better. We're now going to go in and add some twinkling lights to this whole entire mantle garland setup. When I'm putting the twinkling lights on these garlands, it's actually another new day. So you saw that I changed clothes like 3 times already in this video, and that's just because I underestimated how much time it would take to decorate. I do this every single year. I think that I can do all of my decorating in one day, and then it ends up taking multiple days. So the day that I brought home the nativity set, my plan was to just keep decorating, but my boys were home and we wanted to do some things together as a family, so I decided to wait until they were back in school. So currently, while I'm decorating now, my boys are both in school, the weekend's over, and I'm just kind of finishing up decorating. We will also be doing quite a bit of cleaning in today's video, and if you're here for just the decorating, feel free to skip ahead. I have a hard time decorating in a messy space. I just can't stand it. So whenever I do some decorating in each room, I just kind of have to tidy and clean it as I go. We are not going to decorate the Christmas tree in today's video. I think I said that in last week's video. I can't remember, but my kids get super excited to decorate the Christmas tree, and they get the totes out and unwrap all of the bulbs and put them all on. And then, of course, Mom and Dad have to kind of rearrange it a little bit because all of the bulbs are on the bottom half of the tree in one spot. But we do that as a family, and so I'm not going to film my kids decorating the Christmas tree just because I want them to remember decorating it together as a family, not creating a video. So that's just one thing every year that I do with my family, and I won't film unless one day they get tired of decorating the Christmas tree, which I hope they don't. Now that the couch is kind of put back together and things are tidied up a little bit, we're just going to finish up with some vacuuming, and then I can kind of show you what the room's looking like. At the end of this video, we are going to be mopping the lower floor just because I felt like now that all the Christmas decor is up, I just wanted the whole house to kind of feel clean, especially with Christmas music and a candle. Every single year I get a ornament with our family picture on it, and if we don't have a good family picture of all of us looking super nice, then sometimes I'll just do my boys together with the year, and it's just kind of something fun I started a while ago. And the reason I started it was because when we first got married, we got this as a gift, the ornament I just showed you, and it has our wedding picture in it with the year we got married, and so I just kind of decided that I was going to continue that every single year. So we have quite a few family ornaments. I don't think I showed you all of them, but just some fun ones. A couple of them have all of us together as a family, and then some of the years I have just a picture of our boys, and it's just such a fun tradition. I get excited every year to pull out those ornaments and decorate the tree with them. I ended up moving on to the kitchen area, so we're just going to be giving this dining room table a good wipe down. I didn't clean it up after breakfast, and so we're going to wipe this down, clean up the kitchen a little bit, and then we're going to continue decorating that space. I don't really have a ton of decor for the kitchen just because the garlands are such a statement that if I add too much decor on the countertops, it's going to look a little crowded. And I really don't want decor all over the place. So we're actually just going to be adding a statement vase and a candle, and we're going to be calling this area good. Don't mind the giant sticks in the pots in the kitchen. I know that's kind of a weird sight for you to see probably, but my husband is currently boiling a bunch of pieces of driftwood, and they're a bunch of different sizes, and one of them's kind of like a stump. And the reason for that is he's kind of setting up a fish tank. He has 2 aquariums, and we kind of have this like fish aquarium wall. I'm not really sure how to explain it better than that. And he is kind of redesigning one of the tanks. So one of the tanks had African cichlids in it, and it was mostly a rocky tank. So African cichlids are rock dwellers. And so he had a bunch of African cichlids with a lot of rocks and gravel, and he decided he was ready to kind of change things up. And so he took a bunch of driftwood, and he's kind of redesigning the landscape in one of the aquariums. But in order for driftwood to sink down, you have to let it soak in water for a really long time. And to speed up the process, it's best just to boil the water because I guess it opens up the wood a little bit faster so that it can soak up the water and sink to the bottom so that he can arrange them. And then that way he can kind of like add live plants and get that tank squared away. So real quick, we just finished up cleaning the microwave because it really needed it. I had been thinking about this for a few days and I had really wanted to tackle it. And then we added a cute kitchen towel that I got from Costco. I went Christmas shopping and didn't find anything I liked this year. I really just tried my best to find cute pieces, but I ended up finding a couple things at Costco, and that's almost everything that I bought. So this year so far, the only things that I've added to my Christmas decor collection were Christmas towels. I got 2 packs from Costco. They were super cheap. And then I also got that nativity set from Costco. And that's the only Christmas decorations that I've added to my collection this year. So I like to take things really slow, and I don't really like to do big Christmas hauls or big seasonal hauls. I like to kind of just go decor shopping and take my time and find pieces that I truly love. So I'm not real big on giant hauls, and that's why I don't have a Christmas haul for you guys on my channel. I really try my best to just use what I have every single year until it's ruined. So my plan is to keep using like the wreaths and the garlands until everything's falling off or they're breaking. I'm hoping they last a really long time. If not, I'd be happy if they lasted forever, but I know with decor sometimes that's not how it works. So we're just popping along. We're just going to clean this area here. This is where we make coffee and it can get gross pretty fast. We're going to wipe down all of the counters and just make sure my kitchen is feeling really clean before we add the finishing touches. I don't have a ton of dishes to do, but there were some, so we put out a fresh kitchen towel and we're just going to take care of these. It would be nice if I could kind of show you clips of my home all decorated, clean, and perfect with absolutely nothing extra on the counters ever. However, that's just not my reality. Sometimes it's really hard to make sure that every single area of my home is perfect so that I can do kind of a Christmas home tour. I'm not sure if I'll be able to add something like that in later, but right now, I mean, we've got like the driftwood that's going to be boiling on the stovetop all day long, and then we have sourdough in a jar that we have to feed a couple of times a day to kind of bring it back to life. We have an old banana that I keep forgetting to use, so it's on my counter so that I remember. There's just a lot of things that I could take off the counters and temporarily hide so that I could show you the kitchen all decorated and perfect, but that's not really my reality. That's not how anybody lives, so I'm not going to do that in today's video, and I hope you guys don't mind that my Christmas shots are kind of just real life. So you're going to see me kind of show the kitchen after it's all decorated and have a couple clips in there, and it's not going to be perfect because there are still things that we're doing, projects that we're actively doing in this kitchen, but it's clean, and at least I know that it's a clean space. So now that we've finished wiping down the kitchen sink and the house is kind of reset for the morning, I'm just going to finish wiping down a couple of the counters, and then we're going to add the finishing touches to the kitchen. I got this vase of stems from Target last year, and I also got this candle on sale when all of the Christmas stuff was being clearanced from Target, and this is the first time I'm lighting it since I didn't get around to lighting it last year. So this is what my kitchen's looking like now, and ignore the driftwood on the stovetop. But this is what it's looking like, and I'm so excited to see all the pops of red. Now that we kind of wrapped up some of the decorating in the kitchen, I'm just going to move right along and clean these sliding glass doors just because they were looking pretty bad. This is kind of one of those regular chores you have to do, and especially when I'm decorating, I don't really want to see the sunlight pour in and highlight all of the dog nose marks and drool marks and kid handprints. So I just wanted to take care of this real quick. And I don't always wipe down the entire sliding door. I just wipe down this lower area because it's the worst part. Now we've moved on to my entryway, and since I had the glass cleaner out, I thought, why not just take care of this mirror now? So this is like the mirror that you see when you first walk through my front door, and it's what pretty much all guests see when they enter. It's really hard to dust and keep clean though because of all of this metal. I really struggle trying to keep this dust free and looking really shiny and clean. It's a really difficult mirror, but we're going to take care of it today, and then we're going to add a matching vase to the one in the kitchen, just to kind of tie everything together. Like I said, this is open concept, and so I really try to keep it flowing throughout the whole space. So I like to do a lot of bright red stems mixed with some greenery. That's kind of how I decorate, and I try to make sure that when you walk through the front door and you walk throughout my lower floor, it kind of all blends together. The vase that I'm using is actually from the dollar store from like 7 years ago, and it was one of the first pieces of decor I bought when I got married, and it's still holding up strong. And then the stems are from Target last year. The garlands that you saw me hang on the stair railing are the same garlands that we have in the kitchen, and the reason you didn't see me hang them up is because it took me like 2 hours to hang up, and while I was hanging them up, my kids knocked into my phone stand and they moved the camera so that there wasn't a good shot of me decorating, and I didn't notice until I was almost done filming. So unfortunately, you're not going to see me decorate the stair railing, but you can kind of get what it's looking like. I do need to find some better ways to attach it to the railing that are less noticeable. All I had to hang up these garlands were this like green wire ties, and you can really see them on the railing. It's not very pretty, and so I'm thinking about getting some like maybe some wire or some string. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know if you guys have some ideas, just so that when I'm looking at my stairs, I don't see this bright green that's wrapped around my railing to hold up all of these garlands. Now that the lower floor is all decorated, I made myself an iced coffee, and we're going to be taking care of some mopping. Whenever I finish decorating for the season, it just does not feel complete until everything's clean. And so one of the last things I like to do is mop my lower floor. So here we're just going to go through the entire lower floor, and we're going to quickly mop. This is the Bissell Crosswave, and I really like it. It's corded because that way I can actually do my whole home without the battery dying on me. After we're done mopping, we're actually going to head upstairs, and we're going to quickly kind of rearrange and decorate the boys' playroom. There's not a lot to decorate upstairs. I kind of gave them the decorations and they decorated themselves, and I'm just going to put a couple of the pieces that they forgot up there. And then at the very end of this video, you're going to see me set up a craft for my kids, because on this day they were actually in school, and then they're going to come home, and I'm hoping that their eyes will light up because they'll see a fun craft on the table ready for them. only thing now that I still have to do in my house is put twinkling lights on the garlands in the entryway on the railings. I really want to add twinkling lights to that section of my home. However, the twinkling lights were delayed and Amazon says that they're not arriving until like 8 p.m. So there's a chance that they'll make it in this video, but it'll be at the very end and it'll be something I have to add right before uploading this video to get it out to you guys on Saturday. So I'm hoping that the twinkling lights are delivered in time and I can add them to the garlands on the stair railing and then give you kind of a final tour of my lower home. But if they're not, then I'm going to have to add that in a future video, and hopefully I can give you kind of a nighttime tour with all of the twinkling lights on, because that's my favorite time of the day to kind of look at Christmas decor. You guys should let me know how you guys are decorating this year, if you have a certain theme. I know a lot of people have themes. They do like gingerbread theme, or I've heard a lot of people say they want their house to look like Mrs. Claus, and I think that's so sweet. I love walking down all of the different aisles and seeing all of the different styles you can go with. A lot of people do like a Grinch Christmas, and there's so many different things that you can go with. So you guys should definitely let me know what you guys end up doing in your own homes. I also really like the color blue, and so I'm thinking about if I ever get to the point where I have enough decorations to decorate my whole house, I would love to do kind of some different decorations in the upper floor of my house. In my bedroom, I have a picture above my bed that's blue, and then a lot of my colors are actually blue in my bedroom because it's my favorite color. And so I was thinking about kind of doing a white, blue, and silver in my bedroom someday. I don't really have an extra Christmas tree or enough decor to really do a great job decorating upstairs, but maybe over time I can decorate our master bedroom with the colors blue and silver. Now that the lower floor is mopped, I just like to take care of the stairs at the same time because I kind of feel like the stairs are part of the lower floor, and whenever I do a good job cleaning the lower floor, I just like to have the stairs done as well since you can see them. And since I hung up the garland, a lot of the greenery from the garland fell onto the trim and the carpeting, and so I really just wanted to vacuum it up since there were green pieces all over the stairs. And then we're going to be heading upstairs into the boys' playroom, and we're not going to do a ton of cleaning because they currently have a train set out and I didn't want to ruin their train setup. But we are going to just be tidying up the decor, and I'll just give you a quick overview of how they decorated this year. Kind of like the Christmas tree, I like to let them decorate their playroom kind of themselves. I give them the decor they can pick from, and then they kind of decorate it how they want to. So here's their playroom, and this is the decor that they were playing with. The reason I wanted to come in here is because they said that the gingerbread man's scarf fell off, and so I quickly tied that back on and then put it back where it belongs. And this is how they set up their playroom, so I'm not really going to touch it or mess with it. They really like it. Here I'm just going to show you quickly all of the Christmas crafts that I got for the kids this Christmas season. I like to get some crafts every single season. Everything except for these gingerbread houses that I got from Target is from the dollar store. The dollar store has so many fun seasonal crafts for young kids, and someday my kids are just not going to be interested in things like this, but I'm going to be really sad when that day comes, and for now I'm going to soak it in, and we're just going to enjoy this for as long as we possibly can. So I ended up getting some gingerbread houses, Santa, reindeer, and something else. They're like little wood signs that the kids are going to paint, and they love painting, so that's going to be a ton of fun. And then there's these little reindeer crafts on paper plates, and I figure we can always punch a hole in them and turn them into like big ornaments. And then there's actually 3 packs of ornaments, and each pack has 5 ornaments in it. And it's super fun. They give you all the pieces and you just glue them together. And then there's also like gingerbread men. So that's the craft that we're actually going to set up for when my kids come home from school today. I was talking to you guys on camera instead of a voiceover during this portion of the video. However, when I was listening back to it, it just sounded funny. It sounded like I was putting something in front of my mouth and you guys couldn't hear me very well. So I just ended up doing a voiceover over this part of the video. So hopefully you guys don't mind. So now that we're done with all of our cleaning and decorating, I still have Christmas music playing. It's kind of been paused and played again throughout the day as I was tackling some cleaning and decorating. And my kids are about ready to come home. So here I'm laying out some gingerbread men, and we're going to put some pom-poms, googly eyes, and some little bows I found at the dollar store in some dishes, just some bowls. It's easier for the kids to get to, and it makes less of a mess. And I just like laying everything out for when they come home from school because they get so excited. They come through the door, they just had a long day at school, and they see the art laid out for them on the table, and they know we're going to have some fun family time. So it was really fun. When I'm doing this voiceover, we actually just finished up the crafts, and so I'm doing this voiceover right after we finished, and they had so much fun making all of the gingerbread men. I'm also going to be laying out a couple of Christmas coloring books. They've already gotten started on them, but usually every season we get one coloring book from the dollar store as well, just because the kids really like a seasonal coloring book and they like coloring pictures to mail to people, give to grandparents, or hang up in their bedroom. We kind of hang up all of their artwork in their bedroom, so it's kind of fun for them to have some seasonal pictures. So here's a look at everything that we laid out for the boys for when they come home, and I'm super excited to see their reactions. This is one of the ornament packs from the dollar store. They did a penguin last night, and they had a lot of fun doing these. And then here's a look at the finished gingerbread men. This is later that night after we finished the craft. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got some cleaning motivation along with some decorating inspiration. Thanks so much for being here, and have a great rest of your week.